Community Cats, a journey into the world of feral cats. Ann Beall is the author of that book, and you are right here. So what are we talking about when we talk about these feral cats and the journey that you took into their world?
Well, we're talking about the large number of stray and feral cats that are in our neighborhoods and live around us, cats that we often don't see.
So we know how many pet cats there are, a whole lot of them. In fact, there are more cats than dogs, actually, in America as pets. How many cats live outdoors entirely? They're not indoor-outdoor owned cats. They are what we might call feral cats.
So there are about 90 million cats that live outdoors full-time. Some of these are quote-unquote owned cats, but the majority of them are stray and feral cats.
Yeah.
About 90 million.
And that's about as many as we have pet cats.
Absolutely.
In
There's
America.
184 million cats.
Yeah, it's a lot of cats. So you did some research about all this. What led you to say, this is something I'm going to study?
Well, it actually started out with an interest in feral cats because we had a rat problem. And we had tried everything to try and get rid of our rat problem. And we ended up finding out about this program called Cats at Work. And we applied to be caretakers, and we became the caretakers of a feral cat colony.
So what is this? It's through Treehouse Humane Society in Chicago.
It is.
And how does this work out? And where do the rats go? And it isn't only in Chicago. I mean, big cities all over. In fact, cities all over America do have a rat issue.
They do.
I suppose that the cats move in and the rats put up for sale signs.
It's something like that. What happens was with Treehouse, they actually came over and did a site visit and determined that we would be qualified to be caretakers. They brought the cats over, and the cats acclimated to us for about 3 weeks.
And what does it mean to be a caretaker for these cats that are already, I assume, feral cats?
They are already feral cats, so they are basically unsocialized. They cannot live indoors. They've lived outdoors for their entire life. And they came over and determined that we would be able to take care of them, and that entails feeding them twice a day and monitoring them and making sure they don't have any injuries or diseases or anything like that, and providing them with outdoor shelters.
So you get these, in your case, how many cats?
We have 3.
Okay, so you get these 3 cats. They're feral cats. They're relocated from one place to another. And how is it that they don't go back or want to go back to the place that they were relocated from?
So they actually are in a very large dog cage for 3 weeks, and they get used to us, and they get used to the environment, and they become comfortable with a regular feeding schedule. And what we found was that as soon as we opened up the cage, we kind of assumed that they would bound out and disappear. In fact, they bounded out for a few minutes and would run back to the cage and then bound out again. So they were very comfortable living in that situation. They knew they were well cared for, and we were feeding them regularly. So
they're hanging out, just doing their thing, and you've got rats everywhere, apparently, where you live. And then what happens to the rats? Do they put up that for sale sign? Do they become dinner?
Well, what happens is that the feral cats actually discourage rats in general. So apparently,
I would imagine
that's something that rats don't like to live near feral cats. But we also see that our feral cats do send some of the rats to rat heaven. So they don't eat them, by the way, but they do hunt them down and suggest perhaps they might want to relocate elsewhere.
And these, it's important to point out that Chicago's doing this with Treehouse Humane Society. Other cities have begun to dabble in this too, in part because cities have cut back on the amount of spending they're doing to help control the rat problem. Is this a solution that does kind of work?
It appears to work in our neighborhood. We regularly get neighbors telling us, thank you so much. We haven't seen a rat in ages, thanks to you guys. So it does appear to be working. I understand that there are programs like this, and Disneyland uses them. Faneuil Hall uses them in Boston.
Disneyland, wouldn't that figure? Okay.
Exactly. So they are used all throughout the country, and there are tremendous proponents for it all around. In fact, the world.
Community Cats. That's the name of the book. She is Ann Beall. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.